What's up, people? It's me, Average Iron, here with a brand new series, I guess you could call it. I guess it's gonna be mostly a weekly football recap type of thing, really, and very much unscripted. Well, a little bit scripted, but anyway, a lot of things have happened this week in football, so let me just say my piece about everything that has occurred. And starting off on Monday, we had Manchester United against Crystal Palace, and you know how that went. 4-0 for Crystal Palace thanks to a double from Olise and 2 more from Mateta and Mitchell. And generally speaking, Man United are a catastrophe. As per usual, the fan base is very divided, and generally speaking, the season is pretty much over for them, even though they still got Arsenal and the FA Cup, but the morale is absolutely so down that it's just a mess. Not much else to say about that heavy defeat. And yeah, then Champions League action as the semi-finals came to proper conclusion due to the second leg battles. And of course on Tuesday it was Dortmund against PSG, and Dortmund, thanks to the help of Hummels, managed to successfully qualify to Wembley, to the final, as the first team that is going to Wembley. It's a huge moment for Dortmund because it is also Marco Reus's final match. How captivating it will be for Marco Reus to just win his last game for Dortmund and the Champions League. That'll be a huge moment. But as for PSG, au revoir Mbappe, as he probably will head to Madrid and possibly win. But before I speak about Madrid, the other events on Wednesday was the Conference League semi-finals, Fiorentina against Bruges, and Fiorentina managed to get through even though they drew to Bruges, and they will go to Athens to face either one of the two teams, which I'll discuss in a bit. And in League One playoff action, Bolton on Tuesday managed to get to Wembley, and Oxford on Wednesday have secured their spot to Wembley, but they will face each other on Saturday, or well, Saturday next week, but I'll discuss that as things follow. But yeah, this is very chaotic, a very chaotic start to this series. And yeah, as for Wednesday, just to recap, Real Madrid faced off against Bayern, and Bayern was so close to get into the final and get that Der Klassiker duel once again against Dortmund. But a former Stoke City player who then played for Newcastle and then somehow ended up at Real Madrid came in, scored 2 goals, and got the victory for the Galacticos, which means by some way, even though it could have been rigged for Real Madrid, but you never know, because Real Madrid is Real Madrid, the ultimate team of Champions League. Real Madrid will face Dortmund at Wembley on the 1st of June, and that will be huge stakes as Jude Bellingham faces off against his former teammate Jadon Sancho, which will be absolutely crazy, and still a long time till then, so let's continue on with the sports news. Then Thursday, Europa League action as Leverkusen faced against Roma, and in typical Leverkusen fashion, they always score at the final minute, and obviously they made it through thanks to an own goal from Mancini and a Stanisic late minute winner, which means Leverkusen are going to Dublin in the final. But who will they face in the final? Well, Atalanta, as they battered Marseille 3-0, and Marseille basically just failed, and Aubameyang was full of tears, and that's basically all the highlights from that. And the other team that will face Fiorentina in the Conference League will be Olympiacos, as they managed to get past Aston Villa 6-2 on aggregate. A big victory, which means one Greek team will go to the capital to potentially win it. It will definitely sting for Ajax fans, as if Olympiacos win it, they basically win it at the stadium of Ajax. But yeah, overall, the 3 European finals is Real Madrid against Dortmund, Fiorentina against Olympiacos, and Leverkusen against Atalanta. And it's just going to be crazy, and it's all happening this month, so stay tuned on the Average Iron channel, as I will discuss more about how each other match has occurred and what occurred in all those matches soon to come. And lastly, today the only matches are really the League 2 playoff matches, and tomorrow on Saturday is the FA Trophy final. Of course, last week Solihull Moors faced off against Bromley, and Bromley basically just conquered Solihull on penalties, but Solihull has got a second chance at Wembley, something that Coventry couldn't afford in the FA Cup. But apart from that, other matches to look forward to, in my opinion, is the Old Firm, probably the last one for the season, but they'll also face off in the Scottish Cup, I believe. And of course, not to mention the Romanian League, as that's almost at the end. The Championship have FCSB faces up against Cluj, even though they mathematically won the league. There's still a lot of fight to secure the Europa Conference League spots, and we'll see how that goes. And as for the relegation part of the league, a lot of is the final match day for that one, as Dinamo, Voluntari, FCU Craiova, and Iași and Botoșani will play in the final fixture to see who will be the two teams that relegate and who will be the two teams to face off potentially against Mioveni and Xereda. And yeah, that's pretty much all there is to look forward to this weekend, but alongside Eurovision final, I guess, but that's outside football really. That's been the sports events for this week, and next week I'll be discussing about what happened in the United versus Arsenal match and Spurs versus Man City match, which will decide the title, which will decide the Premier League, to see who will be triumphant, will it be Arsenal or whether Man City will just continue their rampage towards winning each game and Arsenal finishing second. But also, I have to discuss about whether Bochum can end the streak or not, because there's still 2 more games in the Bundesliga, and then there's the Europa League final, and then the DFB Pokal against Kaiserslautern. So for Leverkusen, it's not over yet. They've still got 4 more games, and this season is just getting crazy for them as they reach the potential of just winning a treble and become invincible at the same time. Arsenal, if that happens, Arsenal's statistics will just be done completely, because Leverkusen statistically will be better than us. But we'll see about that in the future. Right now, Leverkusen has gone past Roma and got 2 finals and 2 more match days in the Bundesliga, and it's just getting crazy. And then next week also will be the Romanian Cup final, Corvinul Hunedoara against Oțelul Galați. Corvinul obviously the underdogs, whilst Oțelul are kind of like veterans, I guess, the former Romanian League champions back in the day, even faced Man United. But one of these teams potentially could be going to Europa League. Well, maybe Oțelul, because they might have the better rights, as Corvinul cannot go up in the first league due to the whole team must be private type of thing. And yeah, Romanian Cup is exciting, and I'm rooting very much for Corvinul Hunedoara, my home county, to hopefully win that one. But I'll be discussing that in next week's episode. Lastly is the Bundesliga finale, and we'll see whether Leverkusen can win or crumble. We shall see. And that's about it for the first episode of this rather random rambling of my thoughts about everything that has happened in football this week. And yeah, stay tuned for more content. I'll be maybe doing a Euro predictions soon enough. I don't know when. My schedule is very chaotic, and I just don't know how I'll do in these things. And yeah, thank you for watching, and I'll see you next week with more sport, with more football news, and series pending and whatnot. Till next time.